Interracial couples of Reddit, what was the biggest difference you had to get used to? An ex was Latina, and while there really weren't any social things that were new, getting used to her family dynamic took some adjusting because they were very close and involved in each other's lives, so it was normal for the weekend's inevitable BBQ to be something I was expected to be present for if she was going, because otherwise 16 people would grill her about me not coming. A black chick's hair is expensive and takes forever, plus you can't go to any old salon for it. Culturally, Asian men do not talk about their problems or stress. It's a sign of masculinity to just quietly bear it all, so when things get rough, whether inside or outside of the relationship, my husband just becomes really quiet. At first I thought maybe he's just really focused or motivated at the time. He doesn't express anger at all, but at the same time he doesn't express anything at all. That's when I know something is up with him. Coming from a half Latino household, we are very loud and expressive, especially when we are stressed out, worried, or angry. The Asian and Latino cultures are so opposite in so many ways, but yet so alike. It's quite a journey being married to an Asian man. I wouldn't have it any other way, tbh. I think bringing cultures together through love is one of life's greatest things to witness and be a part of. White male here that dated a black woman for a while in my late teens. Overall it was good for us, her immediate family liked me. It wasn't until I went to get family reunion did it change. We were both made aware it was wrong for us to date, even though a couple guys had white GFs and wives. They also got into her little brother's ear. Me and him would play games and all. But after that he wouldn't speak a word to me. Her parents caught a ton of crap also for allowing me to date her. Her parents apologized, it wasn't their fault, but they were super hurt and embarrassed. We didn't break up because of that, but it did affect our relationship after. I'm South Asian, he's East Asian. There's been a few differences around food. Once we started living together he's used to eating meat with every meal. And I grew up vegetarian lol. So I compromise by making vegetarian meals for a few days every once a while when I've had enough meat. Also, people somehow get real curious when it's two different POCs getting together. A waitress once literally asked him in Mandarin how did he get a girlfriend like me. My wife's family was always slightly racist, always gave her advice to pursue all her options regularly. The kicker was when I tried to marry her after 6 years together. We had a full-blown intervention at what was expected to be the lunch of us telling them. Parents, sister, the whole shebang. They blindsided both me and wife and insulted me to my face and said they wouldn't support the wedding. Told her we were being ridiculous as I sat there. My wife sat there silently while they grilled me. I've never felt so hurt and vulnerable in my life. I could barely open my mouth to defend myself. I felt so small. We're still together and I love her. But I feel I lost a part of my self-respect and feeling of safety that day. She lasted a whole 1 month no contact with them. But they seem to have learned a bit from the shock. Emphasis on a bit. They still haven't apologized to me. Anyways, thanks for the read stranger edit, since people keep asking and I've posted this elsewhere. Her family are white living somewhere in North America. My parents are brown immigrants here from Asia. Her parents are atheists, she is an atheist. My parents are Muslim, I'm an atheist. I was born here in the same city as her where we've known each other since age 13, going 2 decades now. The biggest difference I had to get used to was not talking to my mom anymore. She was not happy I married a white person and cut ties with me. There was also some subtle racism from members of my family, even though it was small comments. I think it's for the best that I don't live near any of them. Black woman with a white husband in the UK. I think the biggest difference was how family are treated. In my culture I cannot fathom leaving an elderly family member to live alone and fend for themselves, but that seems pretty normal for my husband's family. We talk about it a lot and he agrees it may seem weird, but is expected. Also, bonus of money. I am of the mindset that if you give someone money you really don't ask for it back unless it was pre-agreed, as in if I can afford to buy you something I don't expect something in return. It seems in English culture everyone must pay each other back to the penny and not allow anyone to pay for anything. That's a real culture shock to me. The subtle and not so subtle racism by her family. Having to translate things when around family and while talking. In my failed marriage, there was overt racism. I'm Asian and my ex-husband is Eastern European. When we first started dating, his mother declared, there are 3 races in this world, white, black, and yellow, and they should not mix. What would the neighbors say lololol? His grandfather expressed surprise when he met me because I'm not black. He thought Japan was in Africa. Japanese families are generally pretty respectful about not being too intrusive. His family was all into everyone's business. They would ask questions like, you've gained weight. What are you eating? And what does your psychiatrist say about how long you should be on antidepressants? This is how they bond. His family felt I was secretive and hated them because I refused to answer these questions. This created a situation where my ex had to choose between his family and me. Guess what his choice was? She likes country music. My ex was Mexican with darker skin and I'm white, and the weirdest thing was how we knew it was normal to be together where we lived, but if we traveled anywhere south, north, or rural, we'd get weird looks and judged. My friend said her grandma from Iowa saw a picture of us and told her to not be friends with me. Yikes. Either one by oneself, practically invisible. Both of us together, suddenly conspicuous. The glances on the street last a couple seconds longer and you notice lingering stares. You get told things along the vein of "it's so nice to see the world progress," "you're my favorite couple," "it's such a nice day to go out with your significant other." Way more than if you went out with someone of the same race, or like your opposite gendered cousin, close friend, whatever. Stuff that you're not sure if it is some weird microaggression, an attempt at virtue signaling, or they are just genuinely glad race relations have improved since the 20th century. I kind of miss it. The biggest shock was just how pronounced of a dark bathtub ring she would leave when using my bath, just once using the same bath balm I would use. It's really a marked difference in lotions and products. Mentioned this on another post. Had 2 biracial children in the 70s. Had a woman exclaim, "Good Lord, are those children mixed?" To which I answered, "No mom. One's a boy and one's a girl." I'm white. She's Hispanic. Her family loves me. My family hates that she isn't white. I never knew that they were so racist until after they found out I wasn't dating a white girl. Dirty looks, passive-aggressive behavior, and comments from complete strangers, especially women. Her hair needs a lot of maintenance, and she's more sensitive to racial issues and oppression against marginalized groups. Other than that, and my look getting considerably more stylish, no difference. Always being asked if we want to pay together or separate? Being asked if we're together or not. People assuming we aren't married to each other. I'm Asian, he's white. Is that something all couples experience? Educate me please. In our relationship marriage? Nothing. It always felt very normal. The comments and stares from strangers? That took some getting used to.